Alright, so here we are, well over 2 years into the Z125 Pro and a couple thousand miles. So I thought I'd do a long-term review on the bike. And, you know, standard stuff, thoughts and impressions, do it again, all that jazz. But, so if you're looking to buy one, would I recommend it? Well, it depends on what you're looking to do. And if you're looking for a hell of a fun bike, just to go out, be kind of a hooligan on, not looking to do any kind of crazy miles, this is definitely a good way to accomplish those goals. So, not only is it cheap to own, and even with the modifications I've done to mine, I still average about 85 miles to the gallon, and that is with thrashing the hell out of the thing. I mean, so I'm doing 53. Really, it's more like 50 with adjusted speed. And where are we at? 8,000 RPMs. So if you're doing any kind of like legitimate speed, I mean, you're going to be full throttle on this thing. It's just a necessity of the type of bike that it is, being only 125 and especially a 4-speed. But it is a hell of a fun bike. The only downside that I've really found with this bike is, so being a 125, 9 horse, there are limitations to this bike, and that amounts to power. And even though you can surprise the hell of a lot of people with it, it still can be relatively slow off the line if somebody's going to be an asshat, which is the only time I've found that I've regretted being on the bike. So when I had a couple jackasses in right turn lanes and they decided they were going to go straight. But as you can see, generally you can pull away pretty well. But otherwise, it's a hell of a lot of fun. I mean, it's just so light and nimble. And once you do the suspension, and the bike doesn't squat and wallow and bounce so much, it becomes even more nimble. It feels even lighter. And again, a lot of that's just because you're sitting a little higher, you're not squatting down so low, so your center of gravity is a little higher. So in a high wind, it almost feels like at times, if it hits you from the side, like the bike might actually just get blown out from underneath you. But so on this, I've actually put on the Kenda KD1 quick tires to replace the stock IRCs, which were decent. Those are actually the only tires I've ever had where I've had a bike wash out on me. And I was in a roundabout and about 50 degrees, tipped it in pretty good, and the back end just came out, bike went down. So the stock IRCs are not stellar by any means, and the Kenda KD1 quicks, from what I've been told, are extremely similar to the Dunlop, what the hell are they, TT93s or something like that, for half the price. So I mean, you can get a set of the Kendas for, you know, $100, maybe even cheaper, as opposed to $100 a pop for the Dunlops. And they are definitely sticky. It is more of a race quality tire, and I will say that I have felt these slip in roundabouts, but the nice thing is when you feel that slip, they hook right back up. So plenty of warning, no real surprises on you. So, and they definitely transformed the handling even more so. So I'm sure they're a bit of a lighter tire, but they perform extremely well. Uh-oh, somebody's getting a bad day. Unmarked state trooper. Ooh, that is a guaranteed at least single ticket. Kind of odd that he's going to be a little bit off the interstate. bike is great all around. Obviously it's a budget bike. It's a $3,000 bike, so I put easily over $1,500 in mods into the bike, so it can be a bit of a money pit considering that you can almost quickly double the cost of the bike, especially if you do a big bore kit. But it's still a hell of a lot cheaper than if you buy something like a ZX10R, put Öhlins in that, and you know, do more of a super stock kind of, or super sport kind of a setup. So it's kind of a cheap way to go to have a hell of a lot of fun. The only downside to the bike itself mechanically is, I will say that the Z125, and I'm not sure about the Grom, I've never ridden the Grom, and I've sat on them and whatnot, but the biggest downside to this, and if Cowie does modifications, this is one thing I would heavily recommend, is doing a better job counterbalancing the bike. Because you do get a lot of vibrations in the higher RPMs. I mean, it gets really damn buzzy. So like I said, I mean, if you're doing 50 miles an hour, I mean, you're at 8,000 RPMs, you feel the vibrations in the foot pegs, the handlebars, and your ass. And it gets tiring. After about an hour, I'm just kind of going numb. But it would be nice if they'd counterbalance a little bit more. And even better would be if they actually punch this out to just a 150 to begin with. And then they're getting a little bit of one-upmanship on the Grom. But it would be nice to see a little engine modification done to the bike. And at times, it kind of be nice to also have a 5-speed. But I mean, the 4-speed's, you know, good enough. I mean, obviously it's only a city bike. As light as this thing is, I can't imagine doing 70 down the interstate. That'd scare the hell out of me. So but mechanically it's great. If you're going to do modifications, if you're looking at one, like, okay, $3,000 for the bike, what mods are must-haves? Well, the first thing is suspension. That's really the first upgrade you should do on any bike. It's just critical to how the bikes handle. You know, it just imparts so much, not just feeling, but basically confidence handling, and it really makes the experience so much better, because this one really does pogo quite a bit with the stock suspension. And I will say that, and I kind of alluded to it in my first modification video for this bike, so I've done the Öhlins spring kits in the front and the shock in the back, and the front kit is, so it is straight just across both legs, the heavier duty springs. And according to Öhlins, that's if you're over 180 pounds. So I come in at 200, a little on the shorter side, but a muscular fit. So, but at times I would like to have a little bit more give in the front end, just because this one, it does seem to, I mean, it's just a little, it's not that it's too stiff, I just don't think it gives you quite the action that it'd be nice to have. And it's not adjustable, so you really don't have a choice. But if you're under 200 pounds, you know, my recommendation would be to try split. If you're getting over 200, definitely go with the heavier ones. Then if you're obviously a little bit lighter, you know, 180 or whatever below, you can just do the softer springs. I mean, it's still going to be a hell of a lot better than the god-awful, I don't know what the hell they are, and the stock forks. I mean, the damping rods are just ridiculous. So, but suspension is definitely the first thing you need to do on any bike. It makes a hell of a difference, and it's always worth it. So if you're looking to do just kind of a cheap mod that will really help with the bike, I would definitely hit man in the box up for the G2 quick turn throttle. It's about an 1/8 of a turn throttle. So with this bike, obviously you want to wick it up really quick to get the most out of the power ratio that you have. And it makes it just so much better. So it makes it a lot more responsive. You don't have to keep adjusting your grip to get the full throttle response out of it. So, and it's like 80 bucks I think for it. Super easy to do. Like 5 minutes. All you need is obviously the throttle tube. Throttle tube, pair of new grips. You can get those for cheap at Cycle Gear or wherever. And then some grip glue. And you're done in no time. And once you've got those things kind of out of the way, you know, if money's the issue, then you can start messing with the exhaust and other little tidbits if you want. I will say that there is a new thing out now that I wish to God was out when I did mine, and that's the aRacer. It's actually an ECU, so you unplug the Kawasaki ECU, plug this in, and you use it through the app on your phone, and you can do obviously all your modifications, remapping, and all that stuff. They actually have a D-cell pop or a backfire aspect in it, so if you like that D-cell pop, and this one does it actually really nicely, even with the pizzazz, the auto tune and everything like that, getting it set up. At times I'll get it just sounds sick. You get that nice D-cell pop, just burning off the excess fuel as it's coming out. So that would be a really wicked feature to have. But it's I mean, hell, it's price competitive. It's like I think $350 or something from who is it, hardracing.com. They have install videos. They have two versions of it. There's a smaller version and then a larger, more up spec, where you can really get crazy with it. Honestly, I mean, if it was just me for this bike, the price point, if you're not doing a big bore kit, hell, I just go with like the 350, the smaller option. Comes with the Bluetooth, you know, so you can just go in with the app, do all the modifications. You can have that thing spitting flames all you want. So it's a much easier way to do it, and you don't have to hassle with running wires all over the damn bike, tapping into this, tapping into that. So in that aspect, it is just stellar. And again, like I said, I mean, I wish it was out when I did the modifications on this. It would have been a hell of a lot easier, and a lot cheaper in the end, because I did the AFM auto tuner from Pizzazz, so that was more. But I do know with the aRacer, if you go with, I'm not sure what accessory it is, but basically it's a I believe it's a wideband O2 sensor. Then you have other options you've got to add in. You got to have a splitter basically. But still, I mean, even again, it's a heck of a lot easier than, more simplistic than doing the Pizzazz or the Power Commander. And obviously, you start adding more components, you're gonna run the price up a little bit. But so there's that option. But anyways, you know, they're a hell of a lot of fun, and I think probably one of the most fun things I have with this bike is so often cars will come up and they're actually, I mean, you can tell they probably think they're behind something more like a scooter in a city, and then they'll move to another lane if it's a 4-lane road or whatever, and with the quick turn and everything, I just pull away. And obviously when you get into a little bit of a twisty and roundabouts just like this, I mean, you can just really leave them behind. So it's a hell of a lot more fun. So, I mean, hell, you could have a SUV and throw this in the back and take it with you on vacation. So, all right, so here we are, 55 miles an hour, got it pinned. Ooh, my gas light's flashing. Uphill, up, 44, 44. So, to try nice to find some life to keep moving. And since my gas light is flashing, let me use this as an opportunity to discuss. So, 2-gallon tank. I said I'm getting about 85 miles to the gallon out of this thing last time I checked. And so once that light starts flashing, so I've gone to the gas station, and not even like straight away, and I still will have, I'll put about a 1.3 gallons, I think is the most I've ever put into this tank. So when that light starts flashing, that gives you an idea of just kind of the range you have left. So I don't know if it starts flashing at about a gallon left or not, but so even if it's modified with a Vids or a Power Command or even the aRacer, obviously you still aren't going to be totally killing the gas. I'm not sure what the range is. I know I've heard people talk about when they've done the big bore kit that it sucks through the gas a lot faster. But with this, I mean, even when I finally got to the gas station when it's been a bit lower, I still would be surprised if I had probably somewhere still in the 50 to 60 mile range left in the tank. So plenty of warm fuzzy there if you see it blinking at you. You know, if you're looking to go with one, have at it. I think you'll love it. You get a lot of good prices on them. They're easy to modify. The mileage is great. So far it's been super reliable. I did not do the first service. I mean, there's just not much to it. So I wasn't going to pay Kawasaki just to go over it. You know, I can do that myself. So, but it's a great option. And even if you're looking at something like the Grom, I mean, hell, you know, to me, I've had people ask, and, you know, it really comes down to, if you like to look at the Grom, go with the Grom. If you like to look at the Cowie, go with the Cowie. I'm a Cowie guy. I like to look at the Z125 better than the Grom. So that's why I chose it. And, you know, I've been happy with it. You know, personally, I don't have anything against the Groms. I just think the Cowie has a little meaner look, although I do wish they'd redo the front end a little bit. The headlight cowl, to me, is just a little bulbous for the bike. It doesn't have kind of a nice, lean, mean look to it, like I wish it would have compared to some of the other Z models. But no, if you're looking to get one, go with it. As anybody that has any of these bikes will tell you, they are just a hell of a lot of fun. Oh, nice little decel pop.